Thank you, Miss Kaboy, for your introduction. Good morning, good morning, good morning, class. Now, let's now move on to the next topic, which is the teaching and instruction. I know that you are all familiar with these two words. I know that you have ideas regarding these words. But let me define first what teaching means. Teaching from the root word itself, teach, is to provide information, to impart knowledge, ideas, and concept with regards to a certain topic or lesson. Teaching is also a never-ending process. Why? Because as long as there's a student, as long as there are learners, there must be teachers to teach them. Meanwhile, when we say instruction, from the root word itself, instruct, it is to give orders, directions to be followed by your students to do a specific task. Teaching is explaining how something is done, and instructing is telling how something is done. What does that mean? Meaning that teaching is explaining how something is done because you have to explain everything. You have to explain how an event happened, how a phenomenon occurs. You have to explain in toto. However, when we say instructing, you are simply telling how something is done. You are simply telling to give a direction. For example, encircle the correct answer. You just have to tell the direction. You don't have to explain how to encircle the correct answer. And that is the difference between instruction and teaching. I will give you more example as we go on to our topic. The first example is in the discipline of linguistics. What is linguistics? It is the systematic study of language, language form, language meaning, and language context. Here in our country, we have 100 plus language that we are speaking in our daily lives. And we have Pangasinan, Ilocano, Bicolano, Cebuano, Kapampangan, Tagalog, and so on and so forth. And that is example of teaching. For instruction with regards to linguistic, we have introduce yourself using different languages. And that is the example of instruction. I will introduce myself using different languages around the globe. In Philippines, kumusta? Ako si Aladin Estrada, 20 taong gulang. In English, hi, I'm Aladin Estrada. I am 20 years old. In Spanish, hola amigo amigas, como estas? Estoy bien, Aladin Estrada. In Japanese, konnichiwa, watashi no namae wa Aladin desu, 20 歳です。Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. In Thailand, sawadee ka, Kongsho, Aladin Estrada. Thank you, Aladin. Give a hand for him. Our next example in the discipline of history. For you, what is history? History is the study of past events, past happenings, and past individuals. In instruction, we have make a poem that depicts heroism in the time of Cavite Mutiny. And that is the example of instruction with regards to history. Alipin, alila, walang kapangyarihan, walang karapatan. Mga definisyon ng mga banyaga ng tayo'y hawak mula ulo hanggang paa. Hawak ang ating kabuhayan, hawak ang ating buhay, hawak pati na rin ang ating kamatayan. Ayoko na! Ayoko na! Ayoko na maging alipin ng mga banyaga sa aking sariling bansa. Ayoko na! Nang ako'y sumusuko, may mga tao na dyan para ako iyan. Salamat kong Bursa. Salamat Rizal. Dahil sa inyo, ako'y naging malaya. Dahil sa inyo, naging malaya ang bansang Pilipinas. Thank you, Bright, for your amazing and inspiring poem. Let's give him a round of applause. Yes, it is true that we must be very thankful and grateful for our great heroes. Why? Because without them, the Philippines is still living in the hands of invaders. Now, let's move on to the third example in teaching in the discipline of anthropology. Anthropology is the study of man, its nature, its culture, tradition, norms, and the like. In instruction that is related to the discipline of anthropology, we have create a diorama featuring the evolution of man. This is my diorama featuring the evolution of man by Charles Darwin. In his theory that we came from the apes, we have Australopithecus afarensis, Homo habilis, Homo erectus, Homo neanderthals, Homo sapiens, and Homo sapiens. And this is the theory of Charles Darwin, which is the evolution of man. Thank you, Win, for presenting your diorama featuring the evolution of man. You are great in art. Have you noticed anything? As you can see and as you notice that I did not apply the one-size-fits-all approach. I did not give only one instruction for all my students. In fact, I gave 3 instructions for all my students for them to do the specific task. And that's what you call differentiated instruction. Sir, why differentiated instruction must be applied in teaching? It is pivotal that we need to use the differentiated instruction in the field of education, in the field of teaching, because we have to consider our diverse learners. We all know that in a classroom setting, we have different kind of students. They are different in learning styles, level of intelligences, strengths, weaknesses, skills, abilities, and so on and so forth. We have to consider them all in order for us to welcome them wholeheartedly and for more inclusivity in our classroom setting. And that is teaching and differentiated instruction. Do you have any more questions? Any queries? Any clarifications? If there is no questions, let's now move on to the next topic that will be discussed by Ma'am Elena